So many years ago, well, how many? Maybe a decade ago, I did yoga teacher training, and that meant I did yoga every second weekend for 10 months intensively and learned about the chakras, learned about um, how the body is viewed in Eastern or Hindu, and there's something bothering me. What is that? Oh, that's just part of my glasses. Okay. All right, maybe I'll cut that out. All right, so I was learning about how the body is viewed and how the self is viewed as a composite or an aggregate of um, different levels of energies, right? And the chakras themselves being energetic um, whirlpools of energy. I learned about prana, and I learned a little bit about breathing, pranayama. Um, Anyways, it was a beginner teacher training. Um, and then I went out and I was a yoga teacher for a little while. And part of that was the meditation at the beginning and at the end of the practice. The meditation was very much the kind that's called vipassana, which is the meditation is focused on the breath, or focused in the posture that you're in. Um, and the mind itself is single pointed, just focused on that one thing that's happening, the moment right now. And what happens to the mind when it does that a lot is a feeling of expansiveness and connectedness is kind of grows, and one's awareness becomes more fine tuned, let's say. And now I am, and then, after the yoga teacher training, and then I was teaching yoga for a little bit, and then it was too hard on my body because I, um, I decided, I don't know why I decided this, but I decided to ignore pain because I was constantly in pain. And I thought, okay, maybe this is what I thought. I thought that being in constant pain was normal, and that if I was to make any progress with my body in doing anything, I would have to not let pain limit me, because then I wouldn't do what even ordinary people do. Like I couldn't stand up long enough to wash the dishes without pain in my lower back and in my arms. And now it's like a decade or more later, maybe 15 years later, and somewhere in there I gave up because ignoring pain is not the same as dealing with pain and working with pain. Um, because I had the thought that I didn't want pain to stop me, I got very, very angry at the doctor who suggested to me recently, like in the last couple of years, that I pace myself. I'm like, what are you talking about, pacing myself? Don't you understand? In my head, I didn't say it out loud. Don't you understand that I can't do anything without pain? But I took the advice because there was nothing else to do. And what pacing myself meant at the very beginning of me doing it was resting in bed because my body couldn't stand up without pain. Resting in bed until I didn't feel pain, and then getting up for 5 minutes, feeling pain, and going back to bed. And this I had been doing now for about a year and a half. And if I look back at the beginning, where I really did spend 3, 4 days in bed at a time, and then would get up and do a little bit of something, um, and then be back in bed. When I went from that to about, oh, spending mornings upright, still seated but upright, and then I went from, but I would have to take like good 2, 3 hour naps. And now I look at, and I can make it through the day upright without pain until about dinner time. And then at dinner time, it's hard on me. So I got a rollator to help me in the kitchen sit and cook. And it's a very convenient thing. And I also got it to help me outside to go for walks because I can't make it around the block without getting very tired. And I don't want to push past that signal of tiredness. So with the rollator, I can sit down at any point during my walk around the block and rest, even though I imagine all the neighbors are looking at me, seemingly able-bodied because I don't have any amputations, you know. And when I do stand up, I stand up straight and tall. And when I'm walking, I have a good pace. I'm not limping much anymore. I still feel the limp in my hip, but I don't think it's visible from the outside. So, why is this young woman, well, I'm in my 50s now, but relatively young woman walking around with a rollator? You expect an 80-year-old to be walking around with a rollator. But the truth is that I've been told many times I have the spine of an 80-year-old. So I'm using the tools, and it's helping me build some more muscle strength. It's helping me build some endurance cardiovascularly. It's really helping me a lot. And what I really had to get over, and I'm still getting over, is this thought that I don't look disabled, so I can't use the tools that I need that all of a sudden call attention to how disabled I really am, right? And just because I'm accepting the fact that I'm totally disabled doesn't mean progress can't be made, right? And that is obvious now to me because I really did take that advice of pacing myself. If all I could do was lie in bed, that's what I did. But now those lying in bed days are few and far between. Now my disability is not gone. I still have Ehlers Danlos syndrome. It's genetic. It's the way my body is built. So all that elasticity that made me so good at yoga was also the downfall because I never got the pain signal fast enough for me to avoid injury, and then I would end up with chronic pain. And so that problem still exists. Any exercise program that I take up without the mindset of going very slowly and treating my body as tenderly as I would treat my grandmother's body, right? If I don't have that mindset, I will be injured. And because every joint has already been injured multiple times, there's no wiggle room, ha ha. There's no room for error. I can't have any more injuries without serious problems. If I break another fascia layer, if I tear another ligament, nothing will hold me together. So I have to do this carefully. There are spiders all over my studio. I am not good with spiders, but I am dealing because they're getting the mosquitoes. But I am like, a little bit, it's enough with the spiders. All right, so things have improved greatly. Oh, my nose is itchy now that I talked about spiders. I'm thinking about spider webs and feeling them all over me.